Good evening, and thank you for joining me, inviting you from home to first create a space, some time in your evening, as well as a physical space so we can be together while we're virtually doing yoga practice. And finding your favorite props, your favorite mat. Here we go. We're going to start with a little meditation. And if you'd like to start with longer meditations, the invitation is that you've done that for the last 10 minutes. And you're just joining me for a mini version, always starting in Sukhasana, my favorite seated meditation pose. Heavy sit bones, long spine, soften shoulders down the back of that open upper chest. The Buddha's pose, you can even let the belly just fall open while keeping that upper chest expanded. Finding the breath, join me for 3 long deep breaths. Here we go, big inhale. Definitely okay to use the mouth. 2 more. Bigger breaths to the bottom of the belly. We inhale. And then let something go. Last breath, biggest breath. Fully release the exhale and then soften the breath back to wherever it wants to go. Ideally, a nice equal inhale, exhale through the nose, perhaps the metronome in the background of your practice. And for our meditation today, we're going to work from the heart chakra. Just going to invite into that heart chakra space the vibration of love. This is easily done by bringing into the mind's eye a picture of something that you just love and adore. Maybe a friend, maybe a loved one, maybe an object or a pet or a pastime, and then pull from that picture to the heart space, that vibrational frequency of love. And let's send that out to those who might be in some challenging, changing times. For 2 breaths, inhale to the heart, sending it out as you exhale. And really reaching out on this one. Inhale, sharing that vibration on the exhale. Good. Let's bring our awareness to the crown chakra. So this is where we communicate to the non-physical. There's also an 8th chakra, which we won't get into right now, but just inviting that open relationship with the part of you that is non-form. The place where we all come from. The place where we get our downloads, where we sometimes talk to our spirit guides and all that sort of thing. Just inviting that place to open. And again, let's bring into the mind's eye a picture of one of those moments where you really had a clear communication with the Creator. When you really felt connected to your soul journey. Good. Maybe you've had goosebumps. Bringing that vibrational frequency to the crown. Maybe feeling a goosebump or 2. And let's just breathe into the crown, and we're going to send it out, inviting everybody out there to follow their soul journey the best that they can during these times. Inhale to the crown. Sending it out. 1 more. It's a very high vibration. And as you bring your hands to the heart, just inviting you to find the strength and the courage to continue to follow your soul journey. For now, why are you here? What is your intention for your movement, your practice today? As you inhale, breathe that in. As you exhale, send it to every cell of the body. 1 more like that. Part of what we're doing here is moving our awareness into the body. Inhale. Move into the body as you exhale. Move fingers, open eyes, wiggle toes. Come on to the mat. This is where we spend most of our time together. As usual, I'm going to do most of the practice with you, but not all of it. So listen first, watch me second. And I'm also not perfect. Some of the poses I fall out or I do modifications. I'm human just like you, honoring your practice. Let's start in all 4s. Tabletop. And I love this pose. I love to start here because it's where we can move the most. Widen your fingers. Move your shoulders. Find your knees under the hips. The wrists stacked under the shoulders. Move as you need to. you might be building a home practice. I hope you're building a home practice. And part of the home practice, which happens less in our yoga classes at the studio, is being able to feel into poses, feel into movements, and offer what the body needs, even if it's not part of the sequence that day. Let's take 2 big breaths of cat-cow. Inhale, drop the belly. Stick the tail out. Exhale, reverse that. Draw the belly in and tuck the tail under. 1 more. Lots of movement. Take the gaze up. Open that upper chest. Exhale, close, and open the back body. Good. Let's take the right leg back. Let's just give it a little shake. You can just shake off anything not serving attached to that leg. Let's switch legs. Ground into the tripod with the right, then send the left back. Give it a little shake. Just getting rid of any energy not serving, maybe noticing any tight or sore spots. Let's go back to the tripod, right leg reaching back. We're going to find 2 big tiger curls, and we first take the left arm forward, so we're opposite from the leg, and then we breathe and move. Here we go. 2 big ones. Inhale, reach. Exhale, curl. The knee comes in and meets the elbow. Go past. 1 more. Invite back bend. And then it's back to the hand and the knee. A breath of cat-cow. Wash that away. Find symmetry. Really tuck the tail under. Push into the mat with the hands. Good. Left leg back. And I find the strong tripod. Then I take the arm forward. My modification is to keep the arm down. Inhale, reach. Exhale, curl. 1 more. Long breath. I reach for the horizon and past it. And then exhale, I curl in and I reach the back of my spine up. Grounding to all 4s. Let's take another breath of cat-cow. Wash it away. For me, it's a nice gentle breath. What is it for you? Here we go. Hovering the knees, which starts by coming onto the toe. Making sure the wrists are stacked how you like them. I'm slightly drawing in with my hands. I'm sticking my tail up. And I take my tail up an extra inch, and this brings my knees up. And I soften my neck because it usually gets tense. I'm just going to give it a little shake. A little shoulder shake too. Notice my core is strong. My toes are opening. And I'm soft. 1 more breath. Good. Let the knees come down. Patter out the feet. Sitting up for dog pose. And we're setting up for dancing dog. So extra bend in the knee. Here we go. Take the hands where you like them. Lots of bend in the knee. Push into the hands. Take the bum back and invite the dancing, swaying, moving, feel into the body, do what you need version of dog pose. Wide fingers, heart reaching for the toes, sit bones reaching back. And then we find the top of the mat. I'm going to take a big step. Maybe you jump. Maybe you step with the other leg. Push to the feet. Find parallel and long. And then exhale to the heart. 3 swan dives. Join me for them. Big toe together, or my favorite is hip distance. What's your favorite? Here we go. Inhale, reach. Draw the belly in and fold. It's moving with the breath. My breath might be slightly different than yours. I inhale, sweep up. The chest is open. Belly in, fold. 1 more. Biggest one. Reach higher. And then fold deeper. And we're folding to ragdoll. So again, invite a little more bend in the knee. Melt the belly down. Arms. I get lots of kinky stuff in my shoulders, so I like to use my ragdoll to open the shoulders. What do you like about ragdoll? Maybe a little more twisting and swaying side to side. Maybe focusing on a little more fold and getting into the glutes and the sides of the legs. What do you need? Take 2 more breaths there. Remember, the practice is always medicine, and as you're ready, find center. Push through the feet. Roll up strong. Good. And we're going to go through the sun salutation. I'll join you for this one. And remember, you can skip chaturangas and just go straight to dog pose. I'll cue you. Here we go. Inhale, reach. Always led by the breath. Exhale, dive and fold. Inhale, half lift. And as we fold, I bend my knees as much as I need to so I can ground my hands, step or jump back to plank, or I can drop to my knees and lower on the exhale. And come onto the tops of the feet. I back bend on the inhale. And maybe my hips come off for an upward dog. Maybe they stay for a cobra. And then back to dog pose. And I'm going through the knees, which is the modification. Or you go straight back to dog pose. And if you skip chaturangas, which is totally fine, then meet us in dog pose. Focus on building a better dog pose because you get an extra breath or two there. Good. Let's come down onto the knees. We're going to play with a little modified half moon. So I'm restacking into a nice all fours. I'm coming onto the top of my back foot, and I'm starting with the tripod. It's a balance pose. So I find my balance here, then I stack my hip, and then I stack my shoulders. And I make sure that back leg doesn't sag. I keep it reaching up, and I'm reaching out through the crown and through the toes at the same time. So I'm long and side stacked. Wide fingers, one more breath. And a cat-cow is always the best equalizing breath. That is to say, to bring you back into symmetry and back into a relaxed state. Ready for the second side. Here we go. We start with the tripod. Our modification is to put the foot on the floor, like this. That's the mod. Or we come up. And if it's a wobbly day, the modification's available to you always. One more breath. And then it's flowing. We're Vinyasa, which is moving with the breath. Big inhale. Good. Let's play with some dolphin pose. So we come onto the forearms. We come onto the toes. And then we stick the bum up, and then we walk the toes in. BFFs with the elbow. And then pushing into the forearms. You might be a wrist together kind of person. That's fine too. Good. Let's find child's pose. So I bring the knees down. I come onto the tops of the feet. It's just a short one. Don't get too comfy, but melt for 2 breaths. Sit bones reaching back. And if you have a friend at home, get them to push down and away to bring length into the spine as you walk your fingers up. One more breath. Good. We're going to come back to all fours. And we're going to go back to the knee hover. So we come onto the toes. Wide fingers, stacked arms, tailbone comes up, and let's take the right leg back. And then switch. So it's slow, controlled movements. Just getting into the core a little deeper. Good. And then letting the knees down, patting out the feet. And then it's back to dog pose, so onto the toes. Take the hands forward where you like them for your dog pose. And then pushing. And I'm going to meet you at the top of the mat. Close your eyes, take 3 more breaths in your dog pose. And remember the dog pose cue. Sit bones reaching back, wide fingers, heart open and reaching for the toes and melting towards the mat. Meet me at the top of the mat, gazing there, step there, jump there, pushing through the feet coming up. Exhale to the heart. Good. We're going to play with a little eagle pose. Let's start with the arms. Inhale them out. Keep that chest open. Let's go left under right. So we're twisting them up. And we got 3 options for the hands. Kissing the palms, grabbing the right thumb, or if that's making your elbows sink or bringing lots of tension into the shoulders, the self-hug. We want those elbows at least as high as the shoulders. Okay, so find your arms. Maybe add the leg. You can add it later too. Or if it's a wobbly day, stick with the mono leg. Here we go. Elbows up, bum down. Elbows up, bum down. Sit down into the chair. Push the fingers away from your forehead. One more breath. And as you inhale, unwind. And as you exhale, ground to symmetry. Here we go. Big dive fold. Wash it away. Belly in. Fold. And at the bottom of the fold, do whatever you need for 2 breaths to get that eagle behind you and back to that balanced state where the second side can start from. Slowly rolling up as you're ready. Strong and rooted and balanced. This is a balance pose. Out go the arms. We keep the elbows up. Don't let them sag. Let them stay up. And when you get the hands together, don't let them sag. Keep them up. And the fingers out of the face. Add the leg or add it another day. Here we go. Elbows up, bum down. I'm doing the 2-leg version today. But it's the same chair pose. We just add the arms and open those shoulders up and away. And on your next inhale, open. Exhale, ground. We're going to wash it away with the super sun A. Here we go. We're going to do a quick one. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, sitting down. So it's that symmetrical chair that I've already been practicing. And I can always bring the arms down if I find myself folding too much. We want to sit down into the chair. Good. Inhale, reach everything up. Exhale, dive and fold. Half lift on the inhale. And that's the relaxed breath before we get a little more active in the core with our side plank. Find your plank and then roll to the right foot. And I'm not letting my hips sag. I'm staying long and strong in that plank shape. Here we go, second side. Let me keep moving. I'm going to meet you in dog pose and skip the chaturanga so I don't lose my breath. Lowering on the exhale. Back bending on the inhale. And then meeting me in dog pose where the body's starting to get warm now. So those legs might straighten a bit. The heels might get heavy. There's probably less dancing happening. Here we go. Inhale, right leg up. Exhale, step through for a long runner's lunge. If you can only get halfway there, help it. It's a long runner's lunge. You can always drop the knee as a modification. Find the legs first. Balance, grounded, then the arms. And any up arm can always be modified to a down arm. Straighten the back leg. I'm low in the pelvis. Good. Let's keep flowing. Inhale, reach. We're going to skip our warrior 3. Pushing back to dog pose. Giving it a little dance and shake. And then dropping in. That grounding breath. So that as we inhale to the second side, we can give that second side the same chance. Sit into the pelvis. Straighten the back leg. Trust. Arms up. Or maybe it's a modification arms down day. Or maybe you feel like adding on one of these or something else with the arms. Lots of options. Inhale, lengthen. All roads lead to dog pose. Take a vinyasa if you want. I'm going to go straight to dog pose. And dropping in. Because here we go. Finding the top of the mat. Stepping. Jumping. Floating. Pushing through parallel feet. Coming all the way up. Exhale to the heart. We're going to set up for a really good fold here. So find your favorite width of leg. I'm going to go hip distance. What are you going to do at home? Here we go. 6 breaths. Inhale, reach. Draw that belly in. Fold. And make a friend when you get there. I like to bend the knees a little more. Draw the belly in. Get as low as I can. Then find a friend. I'm going for the big toe today. And then I melt the heart down and straighten my legs out a bit. And it's work. I'm not just hanging out here. Yeah, I'm relaxing a bit, but I'm going deeper into the experience with every breath. I'm coming into a relationship with my legs for one more breath. Good. And from here, we're going to let go of our friends' ankles, toes, coming off the hands. Big half lift. And exhale, just ragdoll for one breath. Good. Is we're going to go from here into crow pose. So here we go. I'm at the back of my mat. If you're too far at the front, slide back a few inches. bending the knees. So now I'm in a real low crouch. My bum is close to the ground. Arms. I bring my knees to the triceps. I don't want to squeeze from the outside. The most common mistake in our crow pose. Trust yourself more. Raise your bum higher. Make sure you put trust into the arms. And maybe it's just a little bit of weight today. Okay, got a little bit of weight there. Whoa. Or I fly. And I come together. And then when you're done with that, we bring wide, grounded heels for the yogi squat. And I'm kind of medium flexy, so I got to be pretty wide with my feet. I can rest here, or I can take the hands together, or I can move a little bit. Take 2 more breaths of whatever you need. We're going to do 1 more crow pose, okay? And I'm going to demo from the side because that's easier. So we're coming from wide legs, so we inhale straight, bring the legs closer. This will keep the bum up. High bum, because it's an arm balance. And a lot of our weight is in our hips, so we got to move that bum forward slowly as we draw it into center. Then we fly. And then the crow pose. And let's focus on some, the goddess pose, or yogi pose. Let's focus on some twists. So really get the bum low. Find out some good spots. I'm finding some. Take 2 more breaths, and then we're going to go for another fold. Let's stay wide in our legs. Here we go. Finding center. Straighten an inhale. Let's go about as wide as your mat. Exhale, fold. Make a new friend. I'm going to go for the ankle. It's going to be my friend this time. And I'm noticing different parts of my hamstring I'm getting into because of different width of my legs. Melting. Melting, melting. Good, let's slowly roll up. We're going to play with some Warrior 1. I had someone asking me about Warrior 1 since I've seen you last. So finding the top of the mat if you've strayed. Let's just wash that away with a big dive fold. Exhale, fold. Good. And then when we roll up, we're going to play with some Warrior 1. So slowly rolling up. And Warrior 1 is a lunge pose. So let's put our weight into our left leg. And let's take a big step back. And even bigger. I'm going to take my front foot a little further forward. So notice I'm slightly 45 with my back leg. So I'm not a T like I would be in a Trikonasana or a Warrior 2. And I'm not square hips going forward with my heel up like I would be in a runner's lunge. I'm somewhere between the two. And I'm long, but not too long. And then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to come back into my front knee and stack it over my heel. And notice what I'm doing here. This is what makes Warrior 3 what it is I'm now twisting my trunk so that my chest is squared. I'm going to take my arms out in front of me just to overly highlight that. If my front leg starts to straighten, I melt in. My shoulders are down my back. My upper chest is open. And I should be able to feel a little stretch across. I'm grounding equally into both feet. Good. I'm going to take my arms down, put my weight into my front leg, and step into the top of the mat. I'm going to switch so you can see me. So let's go the second side. So heavy in the right foot. I take a step back. Well, it's kind of a weak step. I take it back a little more. 45. I come into that front knee, and then I square my chest. And you can take the arms up or together. That's pretty classic for the asana practice. Today I'm going to just go forward. Maybe try one of these at home. Well, this kind of feels good. Maybe I'll try this one. The key is my chest is square. My hips are not square. They can't be square. Because of the way that my feet are, I'm twisting. And that's okay. That's the whole point. Melting into the legs, trusting them. Good. And letting go of the arms. And now we're going to play with Warrior 2, which was the follow-up question that I had from my friend. Was what's the difference between Warrior 2 and Warrior 1? Well, let's step back into Warrior 2. Number 1, Warrior 2 is often a slightly bigger stance because we can get a little lower. Drop in. Perpendicular feet. And here's the big one. I'm rolling, in this case, my right hip back, spiraling out to open, and then I'm spiraling. So I'm actually feeling like tree pose. And I'm square to the side with my chest. And then what often happens is the arms come out and the gaze goes over. The most common mistake is the twisting of the warrior one starts to come into the pose. That's not what we want to do. You should have square chest here, and it's just the gaze. Good. Let's bring the arms down heavy in the left leg, stepping to the top. I'm going to show you from the other side. Big step back. So we're workshopping this a little bit just because it's nice to know the subtle differences. Spiraling out. Sometimes instructors will cue, you should be able to see your two biggest toes. Thigh drawing back. Whew. Open. It should feel like tree pose through the chest. Take 2 more breaths here with whichever arms you want, remembering not to twist the trunk when you look over the front arm. 1 more breath. Good, and we're going to wash this away with a wide-legged forward fold. So here we go. Bring the feet to parallel. So we're kind of medium wide. Big inhale. And fold. And there's so many options for this. You could make a friend, grab an ankle, grab a toe. You can also touch the ground. If you're really bendy, you can rub your crown or your nose on the ground. You can look behind you, press into the tops of your hands. I've seen this one, reverse prayer, onto the forearms. Go deeper for 3 more breaths. Play wherever you are. Good, and we're going to come up for a little Trikonasana. So let's come up, hands to the waist. I like to be medium wide. I'm feeling a bit extra wide, so I'm coming in an inch. And let's take the left leg first. So I'm back to that perpendicular leg like my warrior two. My hips drawing away from my front leg, giving that straightish. I open up my chest on an inhale, and then I fold. And I don't fold so far that I start to lunge and stick my bum out. That's too far. I fold far enough to feel it. I might have a block, which I have, but I'm not using. 1 more breath. Good. And I come up with the upper body, and I bring the feet back to parallel. And then as I point my right foot, left hip pulls back and opens. My perpendicular feet, I inhale, reach forward to create length, and then it's a side fold with the emphasis less on folding deep, but more folding to the right spot. And I'm long in the spine. I'm not crunching. I'm trying to stay extended through the neck, but soft. I'm reaching the pubic bone back and the chest back to stack the lungs. Good. And here we go. Let's spend 12 breaths in our favorite inversion. I'll demonstrate some tripod headstand because it's kind of the starting place. Those of you doing more advanced stuff at home, it all starts here. All the same rules apply. If you're not up for an inversion, take 10 more breaths of your favorite forward fold. Starting from the knees is actually our best place to start. I got my triangle, hence tripod headstand. I'm pushing with the hands. That's really important. They should be taking more weight than the head. And once you feel confident there, you can bring the bum up. And you can bring the feet in. And maybe that's as far as you go today. Or you come up onto the knees. And I can come off the knees. And you see I'm stacked here. I can go from here to a straddle pike or straight up. Just take 2 or 3 more breaths wherever you are. And always coming down slowly. Sometimes even sneaking a mini child's pose if that's what you need. Whatever you need. Take 1 more breath. Coming back down to earth. I'll join you with wide legs. And ideally, as you build your practice for your inversions, in this sequence, you can start with wide legs into your handstand or whatever, and then come all the way up. Let's go goddess pose, which includes everybody and their divinity. So we'll call it divinity pose. So we're all inclusive, and we're just in a wide-legged chair. It's just a fancy name for a wide-legged chair. So tuck the tail of the chair, the open chest, maybe cactus arms. If cactus arms ever feel too much, which is elbow at least as high as shoulder, down. Arms can always go down, but if they go up, they build more upper body. You can come up onto the toes, whatever you need. Take one more breath here. Good. And then inhale. Let's go super wide with the feet, like extra wide. Fold. And then we're going to lunge, and you can use your hands as much as you need or not at all as you lunge side to side. Some people like to come down kind of low. Other people like to get down really low. Feel it in your pelvic area as you bob from side to side. What do you need? It's good. Take one or two more each side. And then join me back in the middle. I like to bring my feet in a little more to where we started. Pushing into the feet. Let's slowly roll our way up. Left foot to the top of the mat. Find the top of the mat. Join me there. Then we're going to wash it away with a sun salutation. You know the sun salutation sequence. So close your eyes. And I'm going to meet you in dog pose, guiding you through. Here we go. Inhale, reach. Exhale, dive and fold. The half lift is the relaxed breath. Get long. And then fold to plank. Step there, jump there. Remember the modifications. Lower on the exhale. Keep those elbows close. Inhale, open and expand the chest. And then dog pose. Good. From dog pose, we're going to come down onto our knees. So I'll meet you there, all fours, dropping in the knees. We're going to go for high kneeling. We're going to play with some camel. I like to demonstrate camel when I'm on the camera because it's just, some of the other ones are a little harder when you're upside down and backwards. So we can start with version 1, which is the heel of my hand in the bum, or in the back, the fingers extending down into the bum. Elbows drawing together, which is bringing my chest open and out. And then I'm reaching my heart forward and pushing my pelvis at the same time. The next step from there is one at a time, or both hands reaching for the heel. Take a few breaths wherever you are in your camel. When we come out, we bring the bum back. I'm coming out one hand at a time. I bring the heart forward. Let's go into child's pose. It's just a little one. And we're going to do some shoulder stretching. So bring your bum back as far as you can. Turn your fingers into claws so that the wrists are off the mat. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, take your bum further back and your claws further forward. Good. And then take the claws over to the left. And as you do that, draw your right sit bone down and back because it's going to try to lift up on you. You should feel it in your right armpit. Draw the bum back. Take the fingers forward. Good. Back to center. Take a big inhale. And then draw the bum back as the fingers walk to the left. And again, keeping that or to the right. Left sit bone's got to stay grounded. We want that left side stretch. Good. Let's find our way to center. We're going to wash that away with the dolphin pose. So we drop to the forearms. We bring the weight forward, and then it's onto the toes and the bum up. Add some fancy moves if you have them, a pincho, whatever. And then dog pose. So I put my weight in my feet, and I push onto my hands. You can use the knees as a transition. Find your dog pose. Good, and we're going to do some pigeon. I'm going to take my left leg up first just so you can see a little, right leg up so you can see. And then I bring myself into a plank pose as the knee comes in. And then I bring the wrist or the foot across and I drop down. And I'm going to demo with some blocks. Active pigeon. So I can use my blocks to sit up a little higher. I'm likely on my back toes, but I don't have to be. And I'm just dropping in, sitting up. And I can eventually get off the blocks, interlace my hands behind my back, do lots of fancy moves, you know them. And then sleeping swan. For me, I like to come under the top of my foot now. Come forward. And if we can find a way to support the forehead with the block, with your wrists, what this does, it softens the neck and upper back muscles so you can actually fully relax into the pose and let all the hip stuff happen, which is what it's all about. Just be there. Good. I'm going to find our way back to dog pose, which is easy. Tripod. There's my hands. Back under my shoulders they go. I engage my left toes, and I just push my bum back. Do a little dance. Do a little shake. Shake off that leg. Do whatever you need. Make it fun. Make a silly face. No one's watching. And then as you're ready, a grounding dog pose breath. And then the other side. Inhale it up. Knee comes in. Come across. Rest it down. Find your blocks or not. Active pigeon. And your blocks are your friends. Let them be. Dropping it a little more. And as you're ready, come out of your binds and your block things and come on to the top of the foot. Melt your way down. Sleeping pigeon. And when done in the yin practice for 2 or 3 minutes, this pose is known as swan pose. It's the same pose, just a different part of the practice. We're here for just one more quick breath because we're in a more active vinyasa. Good. And let's make our way back to dog pose. If you want to sneak into vinyasa, go ahead. Tripod, which can take you to plank for the vinyasa, or it can take you straight back to dog pose. Either way, sneak in some dancing dog. Shake all that up. Whatever you need to do. Good. And take 2 good breaths here. And then gazing. Find the top of the mat. Push through parallel feet. Coming all the way up. Exhaling to the heart. Good. And we're going to get ready to get on to our next stage in our practice, which is moving onto the seated positions. And we're going to take a zombie squat to get ourselves there. And if you want, just for fun, you can use a block. Zombie squat is one of those poses where with or without the block, you should be really drawing the thighs together. The block can be helpful because it gives you something literally to squeeze. Zombie arms, shoulders down the back. Try to refrain from the earring type shoulders. We want soft, heavy down the back shoulders. Zombie arms of whatever kind. If you have a zombie face, add that. It can be fun. And here we go. I'm going to do my best to join you. So we first come up onto the toes. I lost my zombie arms. They're going to come back. Don't worry. Find your balance because it gets a little. And then we want to keep our back flat as we slowly, let's take 2 breaths to do it. We slowly come down. We're going to Navasana. And if you need your hands, that's fine. Ideally, we're coming onto the bum, and it's the back of the bum. And the beautiful thing about Navasana, if you have a block like I do, is it's the same, squeezing legs, upper chest open. We're just going to take 2 breaths here. Good, and then we're going to bring the feet down. And I'm going to just keep my block because I'm going to do reverse tabletop next, which also is a squeezing block. Hence, the whole sequence is a squeezing mono leg sequence. My hands are behind my bum. My feet are about hip distance, so they're not super wide shoulder distance. And then I squeeze my block. I push in my hands, and it's important to take the gaze back to open the upper chest. Push it into the 4 points and breathe. And as you're ready, I bring my head up first, which brings my bum down if you notice. And then I bring my bum so far back that I can see my thumbs. And what that should do for you at home is it should tuck your tail out the back. If you're uncertain, just grab the flesh of the bum, give it a little pull. I'm going to keep the legs straight with a little bend because here we go for a nice big fold. Inhale, reach, get long in the spine. Exhale, fold. And for my bendy friends, you can play with putting the block as an extension to your legs. I'm not feeling quite that bendy today. And I like to kind of shimmy my way into the pose. Really move my sit bones back. Start to straighten my legs out more. And just melt. Okay, so next one we're going to do is reverse plank. So we roll up. Reverse tabletop is the modification. The hands go to the same spot. The feet can stay hip distance or they can come together, which is common for plank to have the feet more together. And then we push and we're flat. And the mod is here. And if you're preferring the tabletop, maybe play with a gentleman's cross or kicking a leg or some kind of cool add-on, doing both sides. And then again, the bum goes way far back. And that's extra important in this pose. I want my tail out the back. Bottoms of the feet together. And you can bring them right in or have them kind of medium far like I got them. Here we go. Inhale, reach. It's your fold. Melt into it how you like. Close the eyes. Get soft with yourself. Melt a little bit into that pose. Good, and we come up. And help the knees to center. Be gentle, be loving. And as they come to center, ground into the feet. And we want to slide all the way to the front of our mat. So scoot yourself crab walk style. We want lots of mat behind you. And we're going to slowly, and you can challenge yourself, root into your feet and slowly vertebrae by vertebrae roll. Or you can just flop down. Whatever gets you there. I got lots of hair, so I got a little pillow built into my melting. How do you melt into your mat? Draw your knees in for a hug. Remember that you are love. Let's take a big breath, sending yourself love. Inhale to the heart. Sending love to you. Good, let's bring the feet down, a little windshield wiper. And in the interest of our online class, because we're doing a little closer to an hour than we are to an hour and a quarter, we're going to skip the core session. So if you want to stop your video at home and take the legs up into an L and do some whatever, a couple hearts, couple of these, couple of dances, whatever, some circles, do all that and then join us back. We're going to go straight into a bridge. Okay, and we're going to do just one back bend here. So I'm going to invite you to do two things. One, do your deepest version. And then two, hold for a couple extra breaths. I'm going to demo a bridge. If you got a wheel at home, do a wheel, okay? And wheel, we're just adding the hands and the progression of first coming onto the head and then all the way up onto the hands. For my bridge folks, we can grab the heels. Blocks are always encouraged in a bridge because it's that squeeze again that gives me stronger footing through my legs. I'm quite close. I'm a big fan of the interlace the hands under the bum. Here we go. Push into the feet. Take 4 or 5 or 6 or 8 breaths. This is our only one. Open through the chest. Get into the shoulder girdle. Push through the feet. Open that belly button. Open that front body and breathe. As you're ready, let go of the hands. Come down slowly, my wheel friends. And this is really where you got to let the sacrum down and melt the shoulders down and then ask the body what you need. Common things are a little happy baby, or a knee hug with some side to side, or one of these more open knee hugs that basically is a form of happy baby. Or maybe there's something else that you need. Maybe you just need a shavasana breath or two. Take whatever it is you need. Good. We're also going to skip shoulder stand today. It's really hard to talk and do shoulder stand. If you're doing shoulder stand at home, remember all the mods. Legs up the wall, legs in the air, block under the sacrum. I lost my block. Right? Those are common ones. And then the full shoulder stand with the bum up in the air, it comes after that. If you need a shoulder stand or another inversion before we kind of slow things right down to the end here, stop the video, do your shoulder stand or your headstand or your handstand or whatever, your 2-finger stand you're working on, and then join us back. Welcome back. We're back on the back body. We're going to close with a supine twist. I'm going to show you my favorite version. There's lots of versions of this pose. I like this one because it works on the IT band a little bit, which for me is tight and is commonly tight for others. Let's go left first. Tight cross. So it's that really tight cross. I take my bum and I scoot it over to the left. This creates space for me to fall all the way onto my right hip. And I want to make sure I'm down on that right hip. I'm on the side of my leg. I can put a little pressure on my knees, and then the gaze can go over my left arm. And maybe the shoulder melts and the knees melt. Melt into the twist. This is a nice pose to do at the end of a practice, at the end of any kind of physical exercise. Good. And we're slowly coming back. And we untwine the feet. We do a little shake, do a little dance, whatever we got to do. And then we do the other side. So it starts with the right leg over. And then what we do is we slide the bum. And that's super important because we want to get onto the side of that hip. Then we can open the other way. And it's gentle. It's a gentle pose. It's gradual. And I'm long in my neck. My spine is extended and gently twisting with the gravity of the pose. So I'm surrendering, which makes this a yin pose technically. But we're doing the vinyasa version, which is just a few breaths. But no, just like the pigeon and so many other poses, you can stay for as long as you want at home. Or if you're ever doing it as part of your own practice, always squeeze a couple extra breaths in if it's the medicine for you. Here we go. Back to center. Everything. I untwist, I untwine. This is where you want to close your eyes at home and just move your body however you like. I'm a big fan of windshield wipers. What do you need to wash away that twist? And if there's any other poses you need before we close our practice, do that pose. Come into that pose. Who cares what it's called? Who cares why you need it? Get to know what you need. Offer that as medicine. And then meet me in Happy Baby. And if nothing comes up for you, let Happy Baby be the last medicine pose. The best part about Happy Baby is this is where all seriousness, if any crept in at all, get thrown out. You get to move however you want. There's no alignment cues. If your bum comes off the ground, great. If you grab the outsides of the legs, great. If you want to grab the calf, you can do that. Do whatever you need. Kick, roll, make a funny face, whatever it is you need. And ideally, this is the last movement. And that's why I do it at the end of my practice very much every time. It gets the last little sillies out. So we can melt into, you got it, Shavasana. And I'm only going to start the first half minute with you of Shavasana, and then I'm going to leave you there. So take your time. How wide do you like your legs? Ideally, we have the shoulders down the back, that nice open chest, upper chest as we always do, palms facing up. This pose can be done on the front body, can be done on the side body. You can have your arms closer in. You can even put your arms overhead. There's really very few rules besides fully surrendering. When you fully surrender and you just melt into the experience, we allow the worlds of form and non-form to come together. This is the place of our dreams. This is the place of all possibilities. Just melting there. Soften in. Inviting you to stay for at least another minute, if not 3. Just melt deeper into your Shavasana. I'm going to leave you there. I want to thank you for joining me tonight. I want to honor you for following your soul journey and working on your stuff. And if you're not doing those things, consider that a poke. I want to thank you for being dedicated to your practice in the midst of spring and summer. The light in me acknowledges the divinity in you. Namaste. Thank you, and we'll see you.